everybody, we are back. This is Damionblackgear, and we're looking at Magic the Gathering Origins, the core set for Magic 2015, and the last core set. Oh, we're with the bad color. Their claim to fame is burn. Huzzah. Let's go ahead and take a look. By the way, this is the one color where I really haven't no clue of what we're going through, because even when I get the spoilers for this and it's like, oh, I should go read the spoilers, I just kind of skip over these. There's never really anything here. Alright, first one up, a 2-1 for 2. Congratulations. It is a pseudo bear, a weaker bear, with the ability to pump himself. Congratulations. And it enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. I hope it's a land. And it's turn 3. At least it's gone. It's like playing gamble. Like, this card could do something. It's not fair of me to do it that way. Like, it could do something. That card has potential. But you're going to have to find something to do with it. And that's the hard part. Acolyte of the Inferno. By the way, in limited standard, it's almost impossible to set things on top of your deck. Almost. So being able to basically guess this on your one-time enter the battlefield, you've already tapped 2 mana event, yeah, good luck. Acolyte of the Inferno, renowned 1, that's nice. Whenever Acolyte of the Inferno becomes blocked, deal 2 damage to that creature. That card is good. 90% of the creatures we've seen so far have been, and I know I keep saying 90% for everything, but let's take a look here. Dies, 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 lives, dies. So of one, this is 80% here. Oh, dies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 of 6. Good, you can see that. There is the negative percentage. And 83.33%. I know, that was the most complicated way. I realized when I did 1 divided by 6, but whatever. So, this card is really good. And it only gets bigger. They have to block it with something big. So you get in, unfortunately, it's in the right color. Wizards doesn't normally do that. What you end up with is a creature that you can probably burn for 1 or 2 and just continue to go to town the next time. So, yeah, I like this card. This card is good. Next up, we have Act of Treason, which is a reprint, and basically every set will have one of these archetyped cards into it. With usually whatever the big focus is. Guess not this time. Arrogant Sergeant. First strike renowned for 3. I still like this. It'll kill, again, everything but 1 of the creatures. So they have to block it with 2, and once it's renowned, it can do a lot more. We have our 4/4 dragon for 4. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. That is perfectly... This is actually a really good dragon. The only thing that would make it better is if it had haste. Typically, you're not going to be able to have a huge hand anyway, because you're going to blow all your mana or all your stuff down there and wonder what's going on and why things are happening that way. And suddenly you have this dragon to give you 2 cards every turn instead of 1. If you get 2 of these things, you get 3 cards every turn with no additional drawback. Just a thought. Good card. I would actually suggest that one might be playable in other formats outside of just standard. Other constructed formats. I would say it's probably a really good card for Dragon Stompy. They are in dire need of having a draw engine of some kind, and this card is, as long as you can deal with the double red, it's phenomenal. Yeah. Your hand's already shot in that deck anyway, and anybody who plays Dragon Stompy can tell you that by turn this, like even if you turn 1 this, your hand is probably shot. You probably have 1 to 2 cards in there, and being able to draw 2 cards is way more important. Bellows Lizard. It's just got fire breathing. Moving forward. Bogart, Brute, Menace. You have to block it with 2 or more. That's actually pretty good on this thing. Too bad it doesn't have first strike like that guy. Whatever. Call of the Full Moon. So we have our first shot at a werewolf, I was assuming, but that looks like a pig. It's just me. It's gotta be just me. +3/+2 and trample at the beginning of each upkeep. If a player casts 2 or more spells, sacrifice. Okay. This made it very bad. Chandra, fire. Oh, it's our Chandra. Red spell. Untap her if Chandra deals 1 damage to target player. If Chandra's dealt 3 or more damage this turn, exile. Does this do creatures? No. Oh man, you got worse. Exiler, Turner, transformed. So you have to either attack ping or double spell ping ping ping. 2 damage to target creature to target player. 2 damage to target creature. That's really unfortunate. She's just got shit on. She's the worst of the planeswalkers so far. And she can flip herself, and she's still the worst of the planeswalkers. What's your ultimate do? Each player dealt damage this way gets an emblem at the beginning of your upkeep. Emblem deals 3 damage to you. So it gives you basically, you're on a clock, which red should already be doing. I wouldn't play her. If this said creature or player, I would say it would be worth it. You would have that ability, but because it's lacking the ability to hit a creature, she's just actually the worst of them. And that makes me sad. Her Fury. 4 damage to a player, 1 to all their creatures. It'll get played. It'll wipe a lot of the stuff. It's one-sided, so that's nice. Ignition. Her Ignition. Target creature you control deal damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. So even your creatures, but not you. It leaves itself and it leaves you alone, but it hits everything else. There you go. Cobble Brute, generic 2/5 or 5/2. Could have been a 2/5. It really doesn't matter. All right, destroy target now. Demolish is a reprint. Dragon Fodder is a reprint. This would actually work well with Gideon, though. Just saying. And hey, you could Gideon up, and you're playing a super aggro-y deck at that point, so you should be curving into this dragon, and yeah, think about it. Embermaw Hellion, trample. Another red source, you would deal damage to a player. Player deals +1. So everything does +1 damage from your side that's red. It's unfortunate that it's red, but still, I mean, that makes these basically hit for 2s, which is really good. Enthralling Victor. Human Warrior. 3/2 for 4. Enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature. 2 or less. I don't know what it is. It's like Wizards just builds these thief cards in red, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna get red to go because of this. And it's like, no, you're really not. You're really not. But thanks for playing. Exquisite Firecraft. Deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Okay. Can't be countered if you have Spell Mastery. That's actually really annoying. Question is it good enough for Legacy Burn? And I don't think it really is. I think that it costing 3, it falls into that slot of things that should just win the game, and it's not quite there. Yeah, I don't know. I would say it's a good card to get a hold of. I mean, in other formats, like Modern Burn could play this. Standard burn could play this. It's not a bad card at all. It is 4 damage for 3, which is good. It's got a nice ability built into it that protects it. But, man, at least it can hit creatures too. That's important. So yeah, it's in that white-green or the white-red deck that I was just saying. This would be a good card. You could aggro somebody out. So far, we haven't seen a sweeper that's actually good enough to stop us or stop it. So, yeah. The only sad thing is that you can't play. Like, you could still play 4 Gideons. It'd be like 4 Isamarus. But you can't get the same value out of them. I don't know. We'd have to check Gideon to see if he's a May. Building a deck in my head as we speak. Haha. 5 damage, Fiery Conclusion. It's a reprint. It was good and limited. That was about it. Fiery Impulse. 2 damage to target creature. Spell Mastery. Deals 3 instead. That's pretty good. I wouldn't play it as a 4 of, but it's pretty good. I'd play it in limited as a 4 of. Fire Fiend Elemental. Haste Renowned. Yeah, you're going to be a 4/3, so I'm going to go ahead and say you're good. Your first hit will be 3 damage. Every other hit past that will be 4. There is no if, there is no and, there is no but. That is what is going to happen. Flame Shadow Conjuring. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may put red. If you do, put a token into copying it, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Basically, you can drop a clone in that'll last until the end of the turn. I don't think that it's worth it. I can't think of a creature that this is actually going to be like the greatest thing in the world for. It is a cheap creature, but it only lasts until end of combat. Does it have haste? Yes, it has haste, so you can at least swing with it. Already has haste. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Ether Grid. I am ignoring some of these proper nouns because I'm tired of mispronouncing things. It's 11:30 at night. My son is asleep. My other son is at camp, and my wife is asleep, and I want to go to bed too. Graphic Ether Grid. Tap 2 and tap. Artifacts you control. Ether Grid deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That's fine. Makes me think of Blasting Station, but a little worse. The Gear Crafter. Enters the battlefield. Put one half of the combo. I would not say this guy's worth it. He is a 2-for-1. He does give you at least 3 power for 3. One of it is flying, so you can actually get in there with that. He's worth it in limited, just not standard. Glory Chaser Goblin. Goblin Glory Chaser. A renowned 1/1. As long as it's renowned, it has menace. That's not bad. Pile Driver. Pile Driver is reprinted. Modern Goblin's got a boost. So that is a huge thing there. They are still missing Lackey. They are still missing Matron, I think. Let's check. Yes, they are still missing Matron. Not legal in Modern. So that is a thing. One of these days, Matron will end up getting reprinted, and then Goblins will be like, we can do Goblins again, and everybody will be like, oh crap, they can do Goblins again. I don't know what else they're missing, but yeah, they're an interesting deck. They'll force people to basically deal with them, and that's going to hurt a lot. So, yeah. Infectious Bloodless. By the way, get these. They should go down in price. Get them. And if you can't get them, don't worry about it. Just remember, he doesn't get bigger butt. So you put any of these 2-powered things in front of him, and he will die. Or the guy with First Strike. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1, so it gets Unholy Strength and has haste and attacks each turn if able. This is something you're most likely going to... When enchanted creature dies, you may search your library for a card named Infectious Blood. Really put it in your hand. Yeah, this is most likely going to get put on your opponent's creatures so that you can kill them off. Yep. Lightning Javelin. 3 damage to target creature or player. It's questionable at that cost. I mean, The scry one is the more interesting thing there. I don't think it's worth it. I think that it's worth it in limited, but outside of limited, I don't think that it does enough for you. I think that in limited, that's a great card, but at the same time, I could be wrong. Mind Ring Bully. Attacks each turn if able. Probably it's a bear that has to attack. Congratulations. Magmatic Insight. There we go. I can read. I promise I can read. As an additional cost to it, discard a land, draw two. That's really good. You are essentially changing this and a land into something else, into two other things, which is just fine for this cheap cost. I wish this was an instant that make it even more broken. This is a damn good card. I would actually suggest that you grab 4 of these, hold on to them. Like, even in that aggro deck, because if you get 4 lands, you're like, oh man, I don't need this other card. Insight. Boom. I've got 2 creatures I got game with. Granted, you have to discard your hand with that dragon. So keep that in mind. Molten Vortex. Discard a land. Deals 2 damage to target creature. This is good. Like, essentially, it's a poor man's Seismic Assault. Which Seismic Assault has not been very good in Modern lately, from what I remember. Was it? No. I don't remember. I'd have to go take a look. But this is a good card. Even in Standard, like, you turn all of your lands into shocks. And that's great. All the lands in your hand get turned into shocks. It gives you something to do. You draw 2 lands with that freaking dragon up there, and you're just like, Molten Vortex your guy. Molten Vortex you. And play this other land. And they're like, huh. Now he's got 5 mana. And you're like, why did I give that other land? Why didn't I just use 2 red and just discard this and 4 you to the face? This is a great card. I like this card already. Karin Nelar. Chandra? No. She was Chandra Nelar. This must be like her parents or her kids or brother and sister. One of them an in-law? I don't know. When they enter the battlefield, put 2 plus 1. Put 2 Thopters into play with flying. Sacrificing an artifact, they deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so they get built-in shocks for your artifacts. Prickle Boar. You notice I'm not thrilled about this one. This 4/4 or this 4 drop is not as good as the other one. As long as it is your turn, Prickle Boar gets +2/+0 and has first strike. That's a really good creature. I would highly recommend playing this in draft. Is 2s and 3s of. I would not recommend 4s. Because this guy is going to slaughter their entire team in 1 hit. Something on their side will die. That is essentially what it reads every single turn. Even that little 5/5 demon. But this only works as long as it's your turn. Alright, Ravaging Blaze. To target creature and the controller if you have Spell Mastery. Another good card. Basically hits down and up because you're going to be using this in some type of a burn deck or some other type of deck that can get value out of that. Berserker is haste renowned, and when an opponent casts a non-creature spell, if it's renowned, it deals 2 damage to that player. This is awesome. This is a great card. They gave red some shit this time. I'm actually surprised. You got this, you got the dragon, you got the insight, you've got the vortex. Like, you have stuff. You have a terrible planeswalker, but they're filling up the rest of it. They're recovering at least. So they actually have given red some things, which is kind of terrifying. And it's all aggro stuff. Like, it's too bad we're already to S's, because being able to see, like, mana barbs would have just been like the nail in the coffin. Whenever a Seismic Eternal enters the battlefield, creatures without flying can't block this turn. Okay. That's whatever. It's a 4/4 for 5. Good job. A 4/3 Reach. There we go. It should have been a green creature. Whatever. This is just another 4/4 for 4. The reach will very rarely come into play at a point that you actually care about. It will be a thing though. Holy crap! They reprinted Shivan Dragon again. Not do that. Why are you still a rare? Oh, I'm so sick of Shivan Dragons. There was a point in time when you could trade a Shivan Dragon and get 2 duels. Just saying. Smash Smithereens is a reprint. It's a good card. So far we haven't gotten to artifacts, so I don't know what's there. Subterranean Scout enters the battlefield. Target creature power 2 or less can't block. That doesn't matter at all. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. This creature is okay. It's not that great. It's something that could be easily replaced in any deck. That's how I'll phrase that. But it's still a bear, essentially. It's a pseudo bear. Enters the battlefield, put a +1 to artifacts you control have haste. Congratulations. It is a 2/4 essentially, and part of it flies. Titan's Strength is an instant. It at least scries one, so you don't feel terrible about it. Deals 1 damage to target player. This is a game finisher, essentially. Too bad it doesn't say creature or player. But it's not the greatest thing in the world. It still gets blocked. It still does its thing. But it has a place. Its place is there, and you won't be too mad at it, I hope, because it'll just kind of be there. Yeah. Fiery Hellhound is a reprint. It's good and limited. That's about it. Well, it's situational and limited. It depends on how many lands you're getting and whatnot. How red-based you are. Shivan Dragon is a bomb and limited. It still dies to our fun little Prickle Boar. At least if it's blocking. Although Prickle Boar can't block it unless you give it flying, in which case, what are you doing? Yeah. Red got some stuff. Red got a couple things. Some of it's nice, some of it's not so nice. I really do like the dragon. I really do hate the Planeswalker. I really do like some of the other stuff that they have. Like the Insight, the Vortex. I think that the Dragon, Insight, Vortex, and the Berserker are the things to... the Burn spell too. Where is it? Right there. I think that those things... Oh, you being a sorcery kind of sucks. Down a little bit. But those 4 things are really... 5 things are really the things to keep an eye out for. Get your play set of Smash to Smithereens. You'll just be happier if you're trying to port into Modern and things like that. Vortex is probably the biggest of those. No, Insight. There we go. Just because you can use it with things like Life from the Loam and things like that. So if you're trying to get there, probably one of the better options. So that is it for red. I'll be back again with green next time, and hopefully we'll be able to see some stuff that I like. So I will talk to you all again later. Bye-bye.